I'm actually quite surprised, maybe pleasantly surprised, to find that Mortdecai has a higher rating on IMDb than I would have expected. It's got 5.5 out of 10, which is more than I expected because I've never heard a single person say a good word about this film. Now, I actually didn't mind it, and I'll kind of talk a little bit around that, but I will say it's got a Metascore of 27. It's not critically acclaimed, it's not very well received, but evidently people must like it because there are 68,000 reviews. On average, 30,000 people have liked it. The film was released in 2015, and it's directed by David Koepp and written by Eric Aronson, based on the novel by Kyril Bonfiglioli. And the only reason I watched this, the only reason I paid any attention to it, is because Johnny Depp's in it, and I love Johnny Depp. Gwyneth Paltrow's also in it, Ewan McGregor, got a really good cast, Paul Bettany, very well acted, Jeff Goldblum. I could keep going. I won't, but it is well acted, and I will say, if we have to start, making the effort to point out specific positives, I will say it is well acted. The lighting is good. The set designs are great. The costumes are incredible. Where it's lacking is the narrative, which is an issue because it's not led by special effects. It's not one that you'd want to pay 3 times the price for just to see it in IMAX or anything like that. So it has to have a decent enough narrative, and it just doesn't. I'll read the description from IMDb. And this says, juggling angry Russians, the British MI5 and an international terrorist, debonair art dealers and part-time rogue Charlie Mortdecai, played by Johnny Depp, races to recover a stolen painting rumoured to contain a code that leads to lost gold. Now, on the surface, I like the sound of that because I like films about art. I like films that are quite action-packed. I don't like action films as such, but I like films that are fast-paced and, there's a race against time. You feel like you're on this journey with them. Often the heart can race and you kind of want to make sure that the problem's resolved before time runs out. And yes, the pacing is quite good. It does feel quite fast, and it certainly goes from A to Z in 30 seconds. But unfortunately, I feel like it's so chaotic, there's so much going on, that it's hard to keep up with. And it's not necessarily a complicated plot. It's not like there are loads of threads that have to be woven together before you can finally get to the conclusion. It's just that there are so many things happening that it's easy to lose interest because you're not really allowed to focus on any one thing for too long and kind of develop an interest or an opinion. I also think, recovering a stolen painting in itself is decent enough, but a painting that's got a code that could lead to gold, it's like a little bit over the top. Now, obviously this is based on a novel. I haven't read the novel. I don't know how true it is to the film. Maybe the novel will take this narrative and, execute it much more smoothly. But the film itself is just all over the place. It's, it's mildly funny every now and then, but I didn't really laugh too much. But as I said, the acting is good, the casting is good, the costumes and set designs are exquisite. It's just the narrative that lets itself down. Would I recommend it? I'd say if you had an interest in watching it, but you don't know if you should, then yes, give it a go. Let me know what you think of it. Maybe it'll be your kind of film. As I said, there are things about it that do work well. But if you didn't really want to watch it, but were just looking for reassurance, then yeah, give it a miss. You're not missing out on anything. If you're a Johnny Depp fan, watch it. I liked his performance. But if you're just completely indifferent and don't really care, I'm not going to say you'll be losing out on much if you don't watch Mortdecai.